I am 62 years old now, and when I look at young women today, I do not see weakness. I see speed, I see pressure, and I see expectations arriving far too early. When I was your age, no one sat me down and spoke to me honestly about what it means to become a woman in the real world. They told me to be polite, to be nice, to be quiet, to adjust, but no one told me how expensive silence can be. So if you are listening to me and you are not yet in your 20s, please listen slowly, not emotionally but carefully, because the advice I am about to give you is not dramatic. It is practical, and practical advice is what saves years of pain. When I was young, I believed confidence meant being liked. I believed if people were comfortable around me, then I was doing something right. But comfort is not the same as respect, and chasing approval will quietly train you to abandon yourself. I spent many years saying yes when my body said no, smiling when my heart felt heavy, and laughing when something crossed my boundaries. Let me tell you something early, before life teaches you harshly. Being kind does not mean being available, being gentle does not mean being weak, and being understanding does not mean tolerating disrespect. The world will test how much you are willing to accept, and it will keep testing you until you learn to say enough. No one warns women how much energy they will spend managing other people's emotions. You will be taught to soften your words, to explain your boundaries, to apologize for being honest. But the truth is, the right people do not need explanations. They need clarity. Learn this early. Boundaries do not make you. I also want to talk to you about time, because time is especially unfair to women, not because it runs faster, but because expectations pile up earlier. You will be told you should have things figured out, your body, your career, your purpose, your future. Let me free you from that pressure now. You do not need to have your whole life planned in your 20s, but you do need to build habits that protect your 30s, your health, your skills, your finances, your self-trust. Those things compound quietly. Do not waste your 20s trying to impress people who will not be present in your 30s. I wish someone had told me that emotional intelligence is a survival skill, not a personality trait. Learn to recognize manipulation dressed as concern, control disguised as care, and disrespect hidden behind jokes. If something makes you uncomfortable repeatedly, that discomfort is information, not weakness. Listen to it. Another hard truth I learned too late is that being independent is not about proving you do not need anyone. It is about knowing you will be okay if someone leaves. I stayed in situations longer than I should have because I was afraid of starting over. But starting over is not failure. Staying stuck is. I also want to talk about your body, not from beauty, but from ownership. Your body is not an apology. It is not a trend. It is not public property. Do not shrink it to make others comfortable. Do not punish it to meet expectations. And do not ignore it when it asks for rest. I treated my body like something I could fix later, and later arrived with pain, fatigue, and regret. Protect your sleep. Move your body with kindness. Eat with respect. Your future self is already asking you to care. Money is another subject women are taught to be shy about. Learn early how money works, not to become greedy, but to become free. Financial literacy is self-respect. Saving is not fear. It is preparation. And independence is quieter than you think. It feels boring at first, but peace usually does. I also want to speak about your voice. You will be told not to be too loud, too serious, too ambitious, too emotional. Be careful of any advice that requires you to become smaller to be accepted. Your voice will evolve, but do not silence it before it has the chance to grow. And finally, I want to talk about comparison. Comparison is the fastest way to forget who you are. Social media will show you highlights without context, confidence without history, success without struggle. Do not measure your worth against edited moments. Your life is not behind, it is unfolding. If I could sit with my younger self, I would not tell her to be fearless. I would tell her to be honest. Honest about what she wants, honest about what hurts, honest about what no longer fits. Courage is not loud, it is consistent. You are allowed to grow slowly, you are allowed to change your mind, and you are allowed to choose yourself without guilt. I am 62 now, and the only real regret I carry is not trusting myself sooner. If you listen to nothing else I say, listen to this. Protect your self-respect like it is sacred, because once it is strong, everything else becomes easier. Thank you for listening.